This is Sunday morning conversation, and we have a lot of fun discovering ourselves.
Yes.
So, you were the face.
Pardon me?
Look, it stopped.
It can happen that way, yes.
It's but getting better, isn't it?
I'm not certain on that.
Well, see,
It's,
I see you're not very spiritual,
oh,
and you like me,
yes.
and this kind of has a value, but not sufficient. It's nice to be nice to me.
I don't want to
is
be
the
just
kind
nice
of
to
goodness
you.
as best as you got. That's the best goodness you got, but that's not enough
No,
because you're addicted to me.
really?
Yeah, you're somewhat addicted. If you see, what is coming through me is pure.
Mm-hmm.
What is coming? I'm not pure, but I'm becoming pure. I'm becoming perfect as my Father in where? Heaven. Yeah. Where would he be otherwise? But I am like a Jesus. I have no magic to compare with him because he is perfect. I am in the business of becoming. He came into the world with everything he had, with every possible magic. He can turn water into wine, and all I could do is turn wine into water, which I think is still a miracle. We have to have a little mirth here. Let me see now. What the hell I want to talk about? I forgot. Anybody wants a chance to say something?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you talk a little bit about doubt?
Who?
Doubt.
Oh, yes, doubt. What? Explain. Is it with you now?
Well, you've told me that I'm full of doubt. And
You're much better.
I am. But sometimes I feel like I don't know that I really do. And I know you say we can't love God, but I'm going to use that in my words.
Yeah.
I don't know that I really love God. And I know that...
No, you can't. Nobody can love God.
Okay, but I really...
Shush, for 1 minute. Just something you said. No human being can love God. God loves us. We can't get God. We have no way of finding God, but the trouble is we actually behave as God. Every person who makes an excuse for his sin is terrified by God's presence. It makes him feel guilty. So the ego, we're dealing with two forces, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Evil and good. I don't have to explain that, but most of the world is evil. And trying to be good, but they're still evil. It's a good try, but it's not good. It doesn't work. You can't find love in this world. It does not exist in the world, except in a Jesus kind of person. But that's about it. So I have become a Jesus extension. I'm not a Jesus, and God is, and Jesus is, well, he said this. I have to make the point. He says, why call me good? See, Christians make terrible mistakes, terrible. But this is one of them. They call Jesus God. No, because he said it clearly. And I'm going to forget what I want to say. but I'll do my best because I'm losing a bit of knowledge. Words, vocabulary is disappearing. And I've got an 800 word of English. It's all you need to be able to express yourself in the spiritual way. And all the intellectual aspect, the rubbish, the thousands and hundreds of thousands of words, no longer useful for me. All I want is to be able to speak for him speaking to me in a special way that has no words, but I have to gather those. It gathers the words that I have to make it nice and simple for everybody to understand. Now, where I'm going with this, I already forgot.
You were talking about Jesus is not God.
Yeah, he is not God. He is the extension. He is the Son of God. He is the first perfect person to exist and to have all the magic of God. If he wants to turn a stone into a pigeon, he could do it. And I said something about the wine and the water, which is not appropriate in this, but it makes a little smile.
Well, I was reading some of your words, I think, from the Satan Principle. And I understand emotions, but you said that doubt comes behind emotions.
Yes. Doubt. Let me just tell you a story. If I can start with a. Let me just think for a minute. In the beginning, now I really believe that God made a man in his image. Is everybody here? How does he God is not all by himself. He's not going to make a whole bunch of gods. He wants sons, just like you would like a son in your own family. But it's more than that. Your son doesn't live forever. He wants a son that lives forever with him. But we have to be put to the test. And how it happened, as I see it, is that God knew he's brilliant, he's magical, but I can just have a little guess because it's meant for me to understand and meant for you to understand. The beauty of it, he created Adam. I don't know how he did it, but he did. Then he took a piece of, according to the scripture, which seems crazy, but it's not crazy to me. That's how he did it. I mean, you can do it to a lamb and make a lamb exact copy. I don't know the language for it, but cloning. Clone, yes, that's it, and it's an identical one. So he made the extension of him and put him in a beautiful place. And he says, of all the trees you may eat, not this one. That's all. That's simple. Why not? If you do it, you will die. See. If you do as I say, you can have all the trees of eternal life and live forever. That's what I want, basically. Those are lecture words, making it simple. He got that. But he was not too bright. He has no experience. He only knows he's in the paradise. And he gets his first temptation. Eve, which is the extension of him. But Eve, Adam is disconnected because he believed he saw that Eve said, but I didn't die. She's simple. She can't help herself. But I ate the fruit, and I didn't die. But that wasn't so much as a cruelty of her. It was just a woman. She is not as smart as Adam. She's just one step down. And in the knowledge of good and evil, he says, do not touch that tree because it has the knowledge of good and evil. Now we have to, sooner or later, discuss what evil, why the knowledge of good is not good and the knowledge of evil is not good. We can discuss that later on a little bit. And we're coming to doubt, aren't we? Okay. And so he's lost his faith. In other words, he did what he did, and then he made an excuse. Everybody in this room means you have fallen. But how did you fall? Let me come forward a little bit. How did you become fallen like Adam? Well, it was different. The beauty of all this is that God knew exactly what would happen because he's going to make it happen. But he's going to put the whole of the Geschmier, Dutch word, everything on him because you have done this thing. Dust thou art and dust thou belong, something like that. But God knew exactly what he needed. He needed an Adam, the first one, and an Adam that's kind of uneducated in life like I am. I'm educated in life. I'm beginning to understand. And I'm growing and growing and growing, and more and more and more and more. It never stops. I'm seeing more every day, more every day. I can't share it with all of you. But I'm moving in the direction of my Creator. I'm moving. Everything bad happens for good for those that love the Lord. No matter how things go wrong, no matter what it is, suffering of every kind, I do not flinch. I do not struggle. It is what it is. I feel the pain, but I don't feel angry and hurt. It is what it is. Everything better. Everything works good. If I'm not mistaken, that's not exactly the right. Everything.
All bad things happen.
Everything good happens.
Everything bad happens for good for those that love.
Everything bad happens for good for those that love the Lord. We are being tested. Now, what we've got is something very, very interesting. Outside, Adam lost the glimmer of light to motivate his being. When he disconnected from God, he became part animal, outside, not fit to be inside paradise lost, only outside, because he is now subject to the woman, correct? Because she has tempted him, but she didn't do that purposely. It doesn't matter what it is, she didn't do it purposely, but he listened. And disconnected him, because when God says, what have you done? He says, well, she made me do it. Isn't that with men today? I can have a whole series of subjects on that. But women are in charge of men. Man born of woman now. Now, instead of being born of God, we are born of woman. Correct? Well, that makes woman, God. And every woman that every woman sitting in this room is every woman who is decent, equivalent to every man that's seeking, both seek. But the woman is hungry for love, because something is wrong with her, and she knows it, and she senses it, and she never made the excuse. She's longing. You are longing. You are longing. You are longing. Not every woman is, but you are. Lots of women enjoy the fact that they're in charge and can get over them. And they're the wicked ones. But the good ones hunger and thirst after righteousness. Oh.
Can I interrupt you for a second? And
Yeah,
just...
I'm coming to something. I hope I won't forget
Okay,
it.
Then you talk, you talk.
Yeah, because I'm going to come to your answer. I have to go around this way to make a point.
It's okay.
And so from this day, he said, because you've done this thing, which is what he made him do. What you've done this thing, you shall be entwined. What was the word you used?
Bonded?
No.
Bonded to the one flesh. Oh,
You know, take a piece of somebody and make a person. What was that?
Cloning.
Clone. But it's not much of a clone, but because he responded to the woman, and that response took him from his eternal life. He became human. And he was thrown outside the garden and took 40 days and 40 nights, according to the scripture, for him to adjust, which made him part animal and part human in conflicts. That being a part animal and part human is anxiety. Now, but here is the interesting thing, and I'll answer the question here. So every man born of woman has a relationship with her to multiply. You only had two people. From those two people, but became imperfect. But the children that are born with a family, the imperfect family, nevertheless, the two little things inside men and women are going to bring forth a woman, a man-child, and a woman-child. And it will go on forever. But every man born of woman, every woman born of woman is the extension of what is dark behind the woman who is looking for purpose in life, looking for redemption from her husband. Trouble is, there is no redemption from her husband, none, because he's an extension of her and not God. The male child is subject to the woman for the failing of the father who was born to a woman, etc., etc. So there are no men, hardly no men, that know how to love the hell out of the woman. You hear me talk about that over and over again, right? So the woman continues unconsciously or consciously to extend what is wrong with her, and is what's wrong with her relationship with her husband, because she knows the good one knows that the man must say, put the fruit down. But the man can't put the fruit down because he's the extension of the woman, and he hasn't got any authority. He has no authority at all. All he wants is sex, and all he wants is to go to her to feel better, for feeling. He's addicted to that. and addicted to so much that the woman will hate him. There's no love there, but the sex is really, the sex is not love. It's another word for it.
Lust.
Lust. Yes, it's lust. Hungry for something inside her that he should have the intuitive, the gift of saying, put that fur coat down. You cannot have a fur coat. And to have the strength to say, no, you can't do this. This would be a relief for a woman. Am I correct? And so everybody wants a man who is, and I'm running out of words, but who is,
Who loves God more than us?
no, who is authority. Authority. And the authority comes from God. Every man in this room has to look for redemption, which is waiting for him, because we're going backwards. We're going backwards, really forwards again, forwards towards God. In other words, we come into the world, and the world comes into us. And I've said this over and over again, but I'm saying it in a different way. And so when the man comes into the world, the male child, he comes in with a gift of salvation. It's called intuition. That's in there is the gift. Intuition, so you can see, not just see like an animal, but see like a human deep inside that animal of it's called a man, and evil, and learn to deal with it with everything that bad happens for good, to stand your ground for those that love the Lord. This is what I've done all my life. And so I'm coming to your point now. So when you come into the world, you come into a mother who is poison. Every mother is poison, but she doesn't know it. Some mothers do. Something's wrong with me. See, I'm married. What's the matter? Why is everything going wrong? The average woman who's good wants a man to love the hell out of her, but there isn't any men. She's got nothing but frustration. But that frustration, when the child comes into the world, the child gives her hope that she can make that boy love her. But then again, it's still a man. And she unconsciously loves him in a way that makes him a slave, because she needs what a man has to give, whether he likes it or not, but really doesn't know what the hell that mother is doing, because he's got an awareness. He's intuitive, and he can see there's something wrong with mother. She wants something from him, and she can't. He doesn't want to give it, and if he does give it, he becomes an appeaser. He's frightened of that. See, it's a whole thing I said just now. But what this human race is missing is an opportunity for redemption, because what the male child and the woman child come into the world, but mostly we're talking about the men because that's the most important part, because he has to play a part, which he needs. So, but when he comes into the world, this kid, little baby, has intuition the day it was born. You know, it's a little kid, a little baby crying, and mother loves the kid, but it is not love. That woman does not know love. No woman has ever known what love is. None. And Jesus, he wasn't going to be married. He came to the world to help men, and of course men, and women, for women, to give them now the opportunity for redemption, because the little child, even though he comes into the world, he senses the good in that. There's also bad kids that never get around to being what they should be. But those who are looking for meaning, those who are aware that what we came into the world with is something's wrong, they are able to perceive at a certain time, a year old or a 2-year-old, he experiences the horror of the mother in the failing of the father, always the failing of the father. But the father does not know anything about failing. All he knows is he wants more sex, because that makes him feel better. He looks to her as the queen, or that which gives him a sense of worth in his worthless state.
Can I just share with you?
I'm almost there.
I'm sorry.
Because God, in his wisdom, has given the human race to come into the world with a potential for eternal life. That eternal life is recognized in the child to the degree that he can recognize it. He can see the disgusting injustices around him. And the parents who are not perfect and not understandable or not understand themselves, they have a child that understands more than them. And he can see that. But the children that are born to that mother are the extensions of the mother, but this boy or this girl is becoming perfect. And there's a light shining in them. And the family hates that one. And he doesn't understand why he's being hated. But he learns, slowly but surely he learns that forgive them, for they know not what they do. It comes to that. But before it comes to that, he resents his mother. At first he's perplexed. There's also a father that he rejects too, but the mother is the person on this that's important at this moment. The male child and the female child, but the male child who is innocent and beginning to understand life, because he has accepted. I accepted unconsciously, and so it comes with being born. And hopefully you have a good mother and a father, but you don't. There are none. Practically none. And so all of a sudden that male child sees that something's wrong, but he looks at his brothers and sisters, and they are loved by the parent, but he isn't. And he is the one. And the reason they have lost, those members of the family have really lost it, and they become the extension of the bitch. Excuse the expression, and the failing of the son of a bitch. See? And so you're left with a conscience, because you begin to hate. You can't help yourself. You've got to react. You can't help. So, with that reaction, where it could have been perfected from the beginning, if you had a father like I had, There was no problem at all. My family was perfect, except my brother was jealous of me when my father died. So he died from that. He's dead now. But what he's experiencing is the fact that he has the sweetness and a longing for purpose. And the longing for purpose helps him to see all the wrong, but the wrong gets into him. So when he's being laughed at by the kids that are the extension of that mother and just as evil as the mother, or the ignorance of the mother, he begins to, the pressure, the family pressure is recognized from the child that was innocent. His innocence caused them to hate him, and he does not know how to do that. He needs food. He needs a place to live. I mean, this little baby, little children, he can't go out, and everybody comes down on him. The school down on him, see, and so the resentment, and that was so where he would have had flawless love forever, which is faith and redemption, he gets cut short. So faith now becomes subject, because when you are upset, when somebody can upset you, and you get upset, you take on the nature of them, and you cannot stop it. It's in you, but you don't like it in you, and you spend your whole life, what is this? Well, the others don't give a damn. They enjoy doing to others what was done to them. Do you see what I'm saying? So you came into the world with wisdom. You came into the world with a potential. And that potential, even though the way you reacted to your parents caused you to take on the identity of the parents, which caused you to doubt. They caused you to doubt, but you didn't do that. You didn't understand at that moment that when they see how beautiful you are and how jealous they are, and they feel that you are the one that's hurt, wicked. You're not wicked. Evil sees wicked as wicked, good as wicked, because it hurts them. It makes them wake up. And they don't want to wake up. They want to always be right and never wrong. This is a whole human race. It's not your fault. God knows it's not your fault. But there's a good thing in it. You start to doubt yourself, and doubt is opposite of faith. But it's become you, and you can't stop it. It's controlling you. But you must not resent it, because who put it there was not knowing what he's doing. So you could look at your parent and say, forgive him. I forgive you, Mother, for you know not what you did. I forgive you, Dad. I let it go. And that the minute you start to do that, to realize that paradise lost is right ahead for you, with salvation waiting, God made that come true in the millions of people who came into the world that way. I have faith. I have faith because I still have my innocence of a child. I have the innocence of a child. The innocence of the child, God loves that. But that's you. What's that word you use? That's the word you use, your doubt. Your doubt is not your fault. It's the identity of your mother in you because of the failing father didn't chastise her into redemption. He needs redemption himself. He needs to have the faith. He needs to have authority. And the authority must come from God, as the authority came to God, Jesus. And he's listening to his Father always. Why call me good? You see, no one is good but him. And so he is the extension of God, and I am the extension of him, and you will be the extension of me, and you will send forth the same message to everybody without realizing it, just by your presence, let alone the way you speak. So don't worry about your guilt and doubt. You're coming to faith.
As I'm sitting here and you're speaking, what has come to me is that by not being loved,
What's that again?
by not being loved,
You don't need love.
I don't, but I just need to get this point out, is that I realize in this moment that I hated God, because if there's a God, then, but I didn't ever know that until just now, because I've always believed that I love
Then you're
God.
forgiven.
And so,
Wait a minute.
okay.
Not knowing it is not your fault. But you want to know it. You just said you want to know it. It just came about, and you picked it up. Good enough. All the trials and tribulations, because in my condition, I understand what it's all about. But in your confusion, you don't know what it's all about, and you struggle to see what's all about, and you will see it. Everything bad. Learn. This is what you must learn to do. If you want to find redemption, you must search for it. You must know it's there. Right? But the only way you can reach it is to follow what I'm saying, the yellow brick road, so to speak. Understand that your mother, it was in a hypnotic, I call it a hypnotic state. She does not know what she does. And Jesus said out loud, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." And nearly everybody on earth is in a hypnotic state. The Russians, the ISIS, the cannibals, every kind of behavior. You have thousands of different behaviors when there's only one. Every one of them are broken. Every one of them justifies the glory. So they worship a cow in India. You can worship anything to make you feel good. You can worship mice and then feel better about yourself. And every time you do that, you go down. But as you go down, you can feel anxiety. And then you say, why am I looking for a mouse? See? To love me. Or a pussycat. So love me. Purring, purring. And the cat loves you. That can actually make you feel comfortable. But there's no future. It's just death. Because you made the cat God. That's what you do. You look for the love of the cat. You do everything for it. So it purrs and cuddles you. It makes you feel love. Gives you a feeling. But the feeling is a lie. You're not any better. That's all I can say. I had to go round and round to make the point. You can have faith. You have faith is buried. You remember I said intuition. Within the framework of intuition is redemption forever, for the everlasting life. You're coming towards it, not going away from it. Adam went away, but the new children coming into the world come into the world with crazy parents, all of them, with very rare exceptions. But he sees it, and he gets reaction to it, and he's conflicted with it, and it becomes doubt, because he's reacted to the wrong side of the force, but not purposely, ignorantly, or compulsively, because life, whatever life you have with that, is existence. So one day you will grow up struggling, realizing something's wrong, looking around the world and seeing them drinking, smoking, drugging, and getting worse and worse, and you don't want to be that way, and you start to search and wonder. And one day look, some people get it on their own, rare, but some get it when they listen to my program, because I discuss this subject, and they never saw that before. And when you see it, oh, that's what it's all about. I see that. The minute you see it, you begin to move towards faith. Are you all right with that? It's a long story, I know, but it all makes sense. Everything bad, in other words, you have to be tested. Adam was tested, all of us got lost. But if you begin to see and accept the fact that parents know not what they do, why would you judge them? Thank God you came into the world with what you still has, which your mother doesn't. To hell with her.
Well, the interesting part, I feel like, and I could be wrong, I feel like it's not towards my mom anymore. It's just towards the part that's in me.
But your mother spirit is in you. That's all. All you have to say is knowing what you know, and how you behave is not your behavior. And what you think is not your thoughts. Because
It's such a
you have the
bittersweet.
identity. You have the identity of your mother in you, and she has the identity of the mother her mother. It goes to the generations. Everybody suffers like that. You give birth to even your siblings still have it, but they don't want to listen to it. They just want to feel good about themselves. See that? You have the choice. You don't have that choice, but it was put on you in a very strong way, which has taken you a long time to see. We're so broken, you sweet little thing. Okay? I think you're just a nice person, and I care for you. You're nice. You're fine. You'll be all right. Just don't hate your parent.
Just being able to see, because I never thought I hated God. I always have said, I don't blame
know.
God for anything.
He's all right with it.
No, I do. I can see that as I'm saying it out loud now, because obviously I'm sorry that I've had hate for him,
Sad.
of course. But I'm very grateful to see that, because
What more do you
I
want?
just couldn't, I didn't know it before. So that's very freeing in itself, like you said.
Well, enjoy it.
Right.
Enjoy it.
It's something that used to, I think, sometimes it can make you feel like you're sad and then judge yourself for that instead of just letting it go and just being free of it.
There are some rules. Judgment is mine. I have gone through hell, but I never flinched. I kept on going. always, I don't react. I can tell you so many stories. I have a magic. I have been given a magic. Because everything bad happens for good for me. No matter what it is, all I have to do is let go of resentment and let him take care. I can take tremendous pain. I'm in pain now. I'm in pain for the last 30, 40 years. I just tolerate the pain, and I'm okay. I just feel the pain. So what? I feel pain, but I don't resent it. It goes away.
That's just been probably, I've must have resented everything because I'm like, oh, whatever will be, and it's all okay. And I think going through like this
It's all blabber.
Yes.
Blabber, blabber,
Yes.
blabber, blabber.
Yes.
One thing, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do, applies to your mother, applies to your father. They got lost, or they got lost and are not like you. They will die that way, but you won't. So if they drop dead and you've forgiven them, you won't have a tear. You won't have a tear. And she's hospital dying. Hi, Mom. Let me say something before you kick off. I'm just saying it, you know. May I say one more thing, and you try to explain to them what I'm doing. I love you, but this love is not mine. I see your suffering. I can't have any compassion for you. You've done it to yourself. Listen to your daughter. I have something to share with you while you're dying. Maybe you'll come to life. And quietly you will tell her a few things. It will come to you. You don't have to rehearse it. Every time, every situation has a special situation. Simple. All you have to do is extend forgiveness. But you don't call it forgiveness. If a big bully comes up, 250 pounds and want to beat me up, hello, that's no new attitude. He doesn't understand that. It's scary. Look, I'll tell you again. A bully is the extension of what has happened to him at home. It's a sort of survival thing. It isn't really, but it's the survival of the ego. You turn around and do unto others what was done to you, then you feel good, you feel good, you feel good, but you have to keep on doing it until you feel bad about doing it. So, I had another little thought I want to share with you. All you need to do, if you broke a leg, if you got sickness of any kind, stay calm. I have spent 30 or 40 years in complete agony. I can feel the pain, suffer from it, do whatever's going to happen to me. Operations that I didn't need, leading to operations I didn't need. Realize how dangerous the system is. Three people tried to kill me, and somehow I survived it, but I don't hate the hurter. It is just what it is. Every judgment is mine, saith the Lord. I say, but I recover, because judgment is mine, saith the Lord. All I have to do is feel the pain and not hate the hurting pain. I'm sitting here hurting now. You wouldn't know it. It's always there. Can't sleep at night. Legs burn. It's been a long time. It started 50 years ago when I was infected with a parasite when I was swimming. It ate a part of my body. But never mind, I had an operation for the heart, and guess what? It failed. The doctor says, "I'll get good news and bad news." I know I told you this before. But I was dying because the thing that was eating me was creating diabetes, because I got 3 years of suffering. All I could eat was porridge, which is not good for you. And so therefore it led to heart. But then, I thought it was good. It wasn't. He just says, "I've got two choices. I want you to know what happened with the operation. I've got good news and bad news." I said, "Give me the bad news." He says, "Your bypass failed." Oh, all right. Attitude. Not shock. Attitude, no shock. I said, "Well, what's the good news?" He says, you got a brand new artery. Brand new. How do you expect that? I still have it today. But other things are going wrong. I have learned all about medicine, all about sicknesses and diseases, learning because I couldn't learn it if I was distracted by emotion and getting upset all the time. Never did I break free from seeing things as they are and not reacting to it, that it slides off you like it doesn't exist. But what exists is the magic of God that loves you. Understand?
I do.
You okay, Bill? You got it.
I do.
Got it. Things are going to happen to you again. Deal with it differently. But you'll be able to, because if you sit quietly and have faith, you had doubt. Why can't you have faith? Why can't that relationship of who you are can be given back to God, who loves you for that? Isn't that sweet?
The amazing part is that how we fight so hard to push everything away. And all
No,
we
you
have
don't
to do
push
is,
it.
no, that's what I'm saying. And then to be free to just realize,
No, you're missing it. You missed what I said. Pain hurts. I have pain now. It hurts. It burns. Every day, every night.
I think you misunderstood.
But I'm saying, it burns. So what? Do you understand?
I do understand. That's what I'm saying. In my old sense, I would try and eat or do something to cover it, and all you
cannot.
have to do is see it, and then you're free of it.
Trying to fix yourself is playing God.
Yes.
Of yourself, you can do nothing. Once that happens and you see it, it changes. Stop struggling. Stop reacting. Stop blaming. It is what it is. It hurts. It hurts. Let it hurt. I never forget. There's a bullfighter. I was watching the movie. It was a real story, real. And they photographing it, and he was gored, really gored by the bull. And he sat there quietly, smashed to pieces, and sitting there quietly. And they were doing something to help him. He's calm as a cucumber. And then he dies. That's the way. Not die. Die like a woman. Die like a man. Is how you die. Is how you live forever. It's worth it. It couldn't hurt. Feel better now?
I do.
Good. The explanation is good, isn't it? The way we explain these things to. So always say, oh, I didn't see that. I see it. I can help you to see it. And if you don't want to see it, you can hate me. That's all right too. And if you like it and it works and you love me, it's also okay. I don't get any feeling one way or the other. If you drop dead right now, oh, take away. What can I do?
You don't want my boots?
What can you do? Worry for them? Be sorry for them? None of that. All you do is all I do the best, and if you die, you die. If it gets better, well, I didn't do it, it just happened through me. And if you do die, too bad for you. You're missing the point. Because if you had it within you, you wouldn't be dead. Simple. I came to this program to say something else, but now I forgot what it was. But I think this is a good discussion. Yes, sir?
Yes.
All good?
Yes.
Anybody would like to discuss anything? Yes, sir. Here we are. Oh, no, you got it. You got it. He'll get it next.
Well, I was going to give it to them.
Oh, okay. All right.
Same, sorry. Rick.
Here he is then.
I wanted to comment on something she had said because for quite a number of years I was resistant to change, and that's why I would listen to excuses, when I saw wrong. But to me it's pretty amazing how when you see wrong, intuitively. There's no judgment there. It's very simple. It's not like people who have clunked me over the head with correction with that, that hard attitude. It's just you see it and you let it go, and it's over with, and it's very.
You have the power to let it go.
Yeah, there's no judgment there. It's just to see it, and then you don't have to
If you
repeat
see
it.
If you see it, it's a gift.
Yes.
And you can continue the gift by letting it go.
Yeah.
It's a continuance.
Mhm.
And then everything happens so that it's the next situation.
Yes.
And if you continue to exist, to understand it, oh, I see, he can't help himself.
Mm-hmm.
You see, evil indwells in a wicked person. And the reason why it's so valuable that the evil is turns into a wicked person, he is the identity of something that has caused him to react and lose himself. So he is the extension, and he's doing to others what was done to him.
Yeah.
So they come to me. It stops with me.
Right.
Because the person who is like that has the identity of the dark side of the force. I don't know if he's basically a good person otherwise or a bad one.
Mm-hmm.
None of my business. All I need to do is look at him and wait. Your presence is very important because your presence gives off energy. And so the presence of a wicked person produces energy.
Yeah.
And upsets you. That is the lump I had in my kids when I was a kid, 8 years old.
Yeah.
It was, how did that happen? It's a force, it's a spiritual force. It's not an electrical force, it's a spiritual force.
Oh, yeah.
And it carries with it the identity of the bully. But if you have God in you and there's no emotion to arouse, he cannot enter into me. I entered into him. In other words, the minute he sees me and tries to irritate me, it melts as it comes towards me. And instead, what is melting it is going into him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't understand that. Don't look at that piece of paper.
Oh, there's
See?
another one.
Yeah, I'll make it disappear. I can't do it. Oh well, try on a smaller piece. Yeah. Right up. All right. Where was I?
That is the magic. It's not really forgiveness. It's the magic of what
It's
you're
in
talking about.
It's in your presence.
Yeah.
People call me on the radio. I can actually help people if they have faith, real faith. And they actually hear it and like it. And, oh, they're better right away. But a lot of people who need my presence with serious problems, really serious problems, they're not coming and being forthwith here. But a person who has cancer needs to sit in that front row. Mm-hmm. And so I have two things: the mind, spirit of the mind, faith, relieving that person of being an appeaser. And so I become the father he never had. And I'm extending this energy to him. And he will feel that. And tomorrow morning he's better.
Yeah. I wanted to comment briefly. One of the things you said, that no woman, I don't know if you meant it literally, has ever had love. Because I was raised by a very emotional woman. I didn't have, you were the father figure.
Emotional is wicked.
Yes. But
emotion is love and hate.
Yeah.
Both.
I had you from a distance on the radio, like many millions of people. But there were women in my life a few, like women teachers who had a dignity about them,
Yes.
and they stuck out in my mind.
Of course.
Like a Margaret Thatcher kind. They had a
course,
grace about
of course,
them.
yes.
And those were different
They're
type.
rare.
Yeah.
They're rare. Well, we have a nice group of people here. Anybody else want to continue with the subject?
Who gets the toss-up? You do? Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to say, you said something on the radio last week that I found to be very profound and affected me. And you were talking about people overeating, and you said that a lot of people overeat to deal with the pain of being frustrated that their life didn't turn out the way they wanted it to. And that just hit me really hard, and I thought...
Let me share with you then.
Okay.
Of all the drugs that ever existed, of all of them, is eating too much as a drug. It is the most dangerous drug you could ever experience. Deadly. You know why? Because the drug pusher gives you chemicals, right? And it makes you feel better. There's no possibility of that you will live, you will die. However, food has always been food, and it was food. The knowledge of the tree of knowledge, the tree of knowledge. Is that correct? Did I say it correctly? And so what was on the tree is food. And ever since then, food kills. You eat something that tastes good and makes you feel better, you're a dead person. You may be alive, fatter and fatter and more demoralized. In other words, food will kill you with no redemption. Be careful. It goes all the way back to Paradise Lost. Otherwise, you can kill the guy that rises to give you a drug. I'm fed up with that. But you can't. You cannot escape it. There is no possible future. But with food, there's a possible future, is to realize, oh my God, my food is killing me. I love the feeling. It makes me feel better. That's not what food is for. The food has to come from Him. The knowledge of good, knowledge of evil. You don't want to glorify in the food. You're going to die. Half the country in America dies in a horrible way. Correct? Your toe falls off, your leg falls off, your heart won't work. Correct?
Yes.
You add them all up. And this is not a drug, huh? This is a dangerous drug. You'll never find heaven if you keep making the same mistake as Adam and Eve. Never. You have chance to wake up. Let it go. Because it leads to every other sickness. If you understand that, you will not have another sickness. You will not have another one. You won't be smoking, you won't be drinking, you'll be free from all that, because food is a dangerous drug. Look at it. Half country die from horrible sickness with no way out. And you will die from food. You have committed the worst kind of sin, the worst, for yourself at least. Stop playing with it. It's not a plaything. It keeps the physical life self alive for a period of time. But in that period of time, you're getting worse and worse and hungry and hungry and hungry and hungrier. And you're hungry for food. God doesn't like that. Because that's what happened in the garden, just for one tree. And you got all trees and a lavatory.
Can I say something about the food thing? It seems that there's a relationship that you can have with food, that there's something within the body, receptors, if you will, either negative or positive. Mm-hmm. And the more wiser, and then there's something with our consciousness and our awareness. So the more we understand this relationship with our awareness, or if you want to say God, or to be under this influence of the Holy Spirit, Jesus, or whatever it is.
But it was the food that comes down to us.
When we receive that food with that kind of attitude, that we really do get it and we really do understand, there's receptors of our body that actually will change, I don't know, electrical magnetic field, or I don't understand that part of it, but but our body will receive it in a different way, positive, instead of a negative, where it would lead to obesity and all the
Yeah,
sicknesses,
that is simply,
heart
well known.
attacks.
You understand that, but I add a little something to it.
Well, I was trying to understand within myself if I
I'll
say
tell you
this.
the story. In Vietnam, when the soldiers get captured, they have to work hard, and they get white rice. White rice. You can't survive on that. But some do. Why is that? Because God is within the food. Even if it's just white rice and you don't get enough of it, even so, you sweet, everybody dies. Everybody starts to die and get sickness and disease, but some of you don't. Why is that?
Because we receive it in a different way.
No, we resent it. We resent that.
Well-
We resent the enemy. But the others take it in their stride. The one that takes it in their stride and doesn't bother with him can survive on grass, so to speak, or nothing, so to speak. Be surprised. It's rare. You don't have a... I remember a story where a woman was lost in the mountains for a month, and she had nothing. When they found her, she was normal. How did she do it? She said, I don't know. The story I gave you one time, when the American army went to the concentration camps and they killed all the guards. They shouldn't have done, but they did, because I'm talking this about a person who was there. There was a man who looked perfectly normal. All the bodies were lying all over the place, and walking skinny as bone, just bone, waiting to die. Hundreds, thousands. And he's there. And the troops had said, how is it you're like this? How long you been here? He says, 5 years. He said, how is it you're still strong and looking normal? He says, well, all I can tell you is I was in Warsaw and they shot 3 or 4, I forget which it is. They shot my daughters right in front of my face. And an anger came up in me, and something says, don't do that. You'll become one of them. And that's all I know. Those are stories that are important to you. There's magic in love. Magic. I used to love magic. I'm really good at it. One of these days I'll have a little, and I'll show you a lot of tricks. It will drive you nuts. It absolutely looks real. Absolutely. There's no way you can figure it out. No way. It just shocks. Got to be very careful. Because I'm very good at it. Used to be. Don't do it anymore. I like to do it for fun with kids. But I always say, not real.
I think I was very clumsy with all my words, but there's something there that I understand about this relationship with food and attitude. I don't have, okay, I'll just be quiet because
No.
I don't have the,
What is the result of what you want to say in a few words? What are you trying to say?
that our body can respond inside.
No, it's not the body.
No,
It's God
it's this-
in the body.
Okay, it's the spirit inside the
spirit.
body that will respond
He feeds
to...
you. He can feed you and not give you anything to eat. Not physically through your mouth. Or he can lead you to something. Make something happen for you. If you don't give up. It is what it is. That's all. Everything has to be, it is what it is. I'm in a lot of trouble right now. It is what it is. Everything happens for good. Right, that's okay. It's happening, so what? Can I tell you a few stories? I may have heard them before. I don't think I've ever told you this one. In Houston, Texas, I was beginning my journey with hypnosis, with the hypnosis. What's the name of the Institute of Hypnosis. I practiced 2 or 3 years, I forget. That's where I learned that everybody is hypnotized. The hypnosis, they don't know they're hypnotized. They don't know they're the extension of somebody else. That's what hypnosis is, the extension of somebody else and not God. See how simple that is? But slowly but surely, deep in my heart, it got more and more understanding of it until I had to give it up. I have to give up hypnosis and find the other way to overcome the hypnosis, which is you can't cure with anybody with hypnosis. You can't. All it does is transfer it to another person. And they feel good for a little while, but I can make a person do whatever I want. I can make him say that green is black and black is green. I can make him stand on his head for the rest of his life. There's nothing you can't make a person do. It's very dangerous stuff. I'm very good at it. However, I don't use it anymore because I've got something better. Something better. It's not me that's making it happen. It's him that's making it happen. So, and a story. What time is it?
It's 20 after 10.
Oh. Well, we've been here an hour and a half. It doesn't feel like it, does it? Well, let me share you something. And I have a lot to share, lots of stories. I enjoy them. It's really fun. So I'm in the Institute of Hypnosis. I have a business, and I almost was able to tell his name. It came and it went. But the owner of the building liked me, but he had a spoiled rat for a son, big, tall guy. And he's taken an exam for what's it, all the people write business.
CPA.
Accountant, yeah. And he resented me. So in that building, there's a little coffee shop, just a little bit. So I'm there, he comes in, and he says, "Oh, you're just a wacko. You're deceived." I said, yeah, there was a certain truth to it, but the point is, because I wasn't yet where I am now. The transference hasn't taken place yet. So I was just a good hypnotist. What I knew is when you get upset, you control that person. Now, that's hypnosis. But I should share this with you and make it work. Make it work a different way. I think you'll like it. So he started to be very rude. He's big, strong. And he called me a liar. I said, "Let me tell you something, my friend. I can make you do anything I want you to do. He said, oh, yeah. I said, yes. Would you like me to show it to you? And you won't be able to stop it. So don't be afraid. Tell me what's the most important to you now, like an idiot. He says, I'm going to take my accounting exam on Monday. I said, I'm going to make you not lose it. I will make you lose it. He says, yeah. I said, you're an idiot. And I'm going to show you you're an idiot. And he starts getting angry. That's the very thing I want. I said, you are getting angry, but you are a liar. You're a stupid fool. I will make you do this. I said, are you getting angry? He said, yes, why not? I said, why don't you get more angry? Can you get more angry? He said, yes. Well, that doesn't do you any good. Now I own you. You won't be able to. You think you're going to win because you like what you're doing, and I'm sure you're very good at it, but you're not going to win. That's what I'm going to make you do on Monday. He loses. He gets angry. And the more angry he gets, the more angry he becomes. 6 months pass. There's a knock on the door. And there he was, half his size. He couldn't eat. He couldn't function. And my wife opened the door, and I was there. I couldn't recognize him. He was bones. And I said, oh, is that you? What happened? As if I didn't know. Have you learned your lesson? She said, take this thing off me. I said, go to hell. It will come back by itself. You only have to admit you're wrong. Bang, door closed. Never saw him again. I don't care if he dropped dead. Now, there's another one. I'm going to teach you something. I'm often on radio programs, a guest. And the subject matter was emotion. And so we had the, what do you call them, the person that... The host, yeah, thank you. And the subject is emotion. I say emotion is deadly. It's not human. And the other guy says, yeah, you're crazy. I said, oh, really? I think you're a nincompoop and an ignoramus, and we'll have it out. See? I said, so you think anger is good, do you? He says, yes. I said, how angry can you become? He said, I can come angry as I want. I said, I have you. When you get angry, I own you. Whenever you get angry, whenever a person makes you angry, they will own you. Now try to speak. He couldn't. I did that everywhere. And it always was the same. Remember the story of the gang that was down the street. I pulled them out. I said, I'm going to do you in. I'm going to make you angry. You believe in anger? You think anger makes you strong? He says, yes. Well, go ahead and be angry. You idiot. That made him angrier. I said, I'll make you do whatever I want. And I know what you're going to do to me, but I'm going to make you do it. You're not going to do it. I'm going to make you do it. He said, what the hell are you talking about? I said, get angry. And then he lifted up his hand to hit me. I said, that's what I want you to do. And the hand froze in midair, and he couldn't put it down. Simple. I can make him do anything he wants. Just make him angry. Don't play with this game because you don't know how to deal with it. I know how to deal with it. I'm having fun. It can come back on you. But if it comes back on you, it makes it worse. because he can't get to me. And the more he tries to get to me, the worse he gets. Can't lose. I want America to understand this. It's okay to make them angry. Let them be angry. You stay calm. And you get to him. And you get to him with some goodness. There's some goodness in that. There isn't any goodness in him. There's goodness in me because I'm not going to give in. I have never fought and lost, ever.
Mr. Masters?
Yeah.
In your first story, the gentleman was asking you to take that away.
What was that again?
In your first story,
Which was it? I forget.
the gentleman was asking you to take this whatever he took, like a curse or something.
I don't remember.
No, not a curse. That's not the word.
I don't know. You have to give me I forget what it was.
The test, the CPA test.
It was a CPA,
The
Matt?
accountant in Houston.
Oh, the
The
accountant.
accountant in Houston?
Yeah.
Okay, that was your first story. And he was asking you to take this away because he was,
I said to him, unless you see that you are wrong, you will have this for the rest of your life. Bang.
right.
Door drop.
And then he comes back and he's asking you to take this away, and you said
no. He doesn't come back. I never saw him again.
Oh,
I never saw him again. I didn't want to see him again.
well, maybe it was in the
6 months
encounter
later, he says,
before
"Take
you
this
shut
off."
the door.
I
Or
said, only if you own up and see that you're wrong.
okay, right there. Jesus told the Pharisees, I think, oh darn.
Well, he got them ashamed.
He told them, I will not return until you learn to cry.
No, I don't think that's it. Not that. I think you twisted that a little bit.
Well, okay. I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
Yes.
It made sense to me, but
But it is.
sorry.
What he said was, he was calm, and everybody was ready with stones. But the calmness did it. The presence of his body. They have to listen. They can't help but hear it. It burns in them. And all he had to say is, who has no sin? Pick up the first stone. And that was it. Disturbed him. It reacted to him. And Jesus got to him and he put it down. That is very sophisticated. I know how that's done. I have done it everywhere, hundreds of times. And they either get better or they get worse. I don't give a damn what it is. It's their choice. What's in me can kill you. Excuse me putting it that way. It can literally kill you, or make you a better person. If there's an evil in you, you start to die. And in that dying, you still have an opportunity to say one morning, oh, that Roy Masters, he didn't do anything wrong. Why did I do that? And he comes back a year later. He doesn't die right away, but he begins to die and begins to feel horror and gets upset because he couldn't upset me. He doesn't like to be a loser. I never lose. Listen, I never lose. You must never lose, for everything bad happens for good for those that love the Lord. If he puts a problem in the way, it's meant. In other words, I don't make the mistake. There is no such thing as a mistake. It's what God wants. And if God wants me to suffer, he sets up the situation where you would mess it up and make things worse. I don't make it worse. I get better for not making it worse. Judgment is mine, saith the Lord, comes in there. See how simple? Now, I'm almost 90 years old. I'm stronger than I ever was before mentally, spiritually, all spiritual. Because every little thing becomes a bigger thing, but it's still a little thing to the next big thing, relatively speaking. It goes on and on and on, like on a surfboard. You couldn't do it first, but a year later you're falling off, and a year later, 2 years later, you're down a 50-foot wave. It's only a matter of little bit. So when the preachers say, when I bring the subject of become perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect, the very thing that really bugs the preachers, he says, you can't be, there's not something wrong with that. I said, I think don't you say the whole Bible is perfect? He says, yes. Well, why isn't this perfect? And then you get disturbed. Just being impotent like that. So, but what is meaning is that become. What is it a verb? Is it what is the becoming?
To become is a verb.
It's a verb. To become. So to become perfectly. But every little time, all it is dealing with little things perfectly. And then it builds. Every time you deal with that the same way, that little thing, which is not so important really, but you stay calm with it. It's another perfection in the smallest way. There's a scripture. There's a scripture that says,
Be ye perfect as your heavenly
No, that's what I'm talking about. But there's another scripture about that. It's in my head. And it can be recorded in just a minute or two, I think. Or be not disturbed. Everything bad. No, that's not it. It's the little things. Oh, yes. It's the little things that confound the Almighty. Right there. I never knew what that was. It's the little things that confound the mighty. The ones that get stronger and stronger are getting weaker and weaker, strong in the wrong. All I have to do is do the right thing. Little things, little things, little things, little things. And it gets stronger and stronger, and I'm down, and I'm slithering down a 50-foot wave, because it's all added up. Your life is made up of little tiny things, little tiny things, little tiny things, all add up to reality, until you get right to the place where God is, and He loves you for it. See how simple that is. I think that way anyway.
I do too.
Yes, sir.
Just wondered about sorcery. It's something in the Bible.
I'd like to see a person put a saucer on me.
I can only imagine.
You don't know what a saucer really is.
I've had situations where someone will lock onto my mind and hold me, and it's really evil what I'm looking at when this is going on, but I don't remember it. And it'll be way later I'll remember
yes,
it.
it's growing up in you. The more you experience it, the worse it gets.
Okay.
Knock it off. Cold hands.
Okay.
Just let it go.
Yes.
Let it go. It's just beautiful of yourself who could nothing. Let it go. There's another word for it. Never mind. I lost it. You'll be all right now. Trust me, not what the way you experience your life. Just don't let it bother you. Just look at it. Oh, all right. He believes it. I don't. Thank you.
I was relating to you, like you were talking about bad things happen. And I've noticed a trend of many things that happen to a lot of people that do those kind of things. And it's something in me comes out and
Look, everything. I'm married 64 years. She was difficult, but she got sicker. I got better. And now I'm taking care of her, and she's getting better. It took 64 years. Or was it 56 years? Forget which it was. 65. But she had this problem. And she was like, controlling me, making me doing less and less and making me more and more. And when I catch her doing something, she accused me of what she was doing. It's Karl Marx. Karl Marx says, accuse others of what you do. Well, that doesn't work on me. It backfires on her and she gets sicker. It's all right. She's sitting there. She's learning it. But the beautiful thing is, I'm still married. And I still care for her. Even though she does stupid things sometimes. And they got more and more stupid. But then she's beginning to see it now. I love my wife, and she doesn't have to be good. I love everybody, they don't have to be good. I love because I don't hate. Love is not, there's no word for it. Only if you want to speak of a word for it, you have to say God is love, and we're not. So when he gives us love, it's not our love. It's his love coming through me to you. And you got it. I give you a little tickle on your face, and you're okay.
Don't
So
tickle
that's-
me today.
Huh?
I said, don't tickle my face today.
No, I'll pickle it.
That's what I'm afraid of.
All right. Any more? And stop shaking. What good is that? What is left in you that makes you feel guilty and afraid? You're guilty and afraid. Your shivering is fear, isn't it not?
Yes.
You're
Yes.
still
I fear I'm going to-
being afraid of being found out.
I
You're
never
afraid
looked
of
at that.
admitting that you're wrong in some ways. You have anxiety, don't you?
Yes.
All right. The anxiety is God is following you and you're running away. And you're running away so you don't want to see it. It's too horrible.
But it's better to see it than not.
Yes, exactly. So when you have anxiety, you know what's the good thing to do?
Nothing.
Look, I'll make a point. I'm making the fire and I burn my finger. Ow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I forget it immediately. Next morning, it's not there. Just a little
Just a little
something
thing.
or other. It's not what you expect. I mean, really burn. Burned up, you burn your finger.
Right.
And it swells up. No.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you something else. If I put you on a stool, what's going on?
Well, they're talking in the back row.
Talking.
Huh?
Talking in the back row.
Oh, I can actually close your eyes and you not use hypnosis and have cold water. I said, I'm going to burn your finger. Don't be afraid. See? Put your finger in it, touch it. It takes made a blister because you thought it was that cold was hot. And your body reaction, that's the mind. The mind does that. If it becomes a shock, and with the words, I'm just going to put it clear so you feel this pain. And close your eyes, let me do it. Creates a problem. It creates a mark, a burn, just like a burn.
But it's
But
not
if you
real.
never had a burn in your life, you wouldn't know what that was, so it wouldn't work. You're recalling something. What was going on back there anyway?
They were whispering.
How was your discussion with this group last week?
Last week?
Was it fun?
It was fun for me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I did the crazy thing. I saw it was up last night, so I listened to it, and I learned more listening to it the second time.
So you were a schmuck.
No, it was like, I said, whoa, boy, this really got heavy sometimes, the conversation.
Good, yeah.
And I was surprised.
It's there in you. It's waiting to come out. There's nothing, you don't see me practicing.
No.
No, it's what it is.
There
What
wasn't
it-
very many of us. There wasn't very many of us last week, and I told my husband it felt like we were like in the living room, just friends in the living room, just talking, and it was nice.
Well, what did you say?
There wasn't very many of us last week.
Oh, yes.
I was here when Chuck was talking, and it felt like we were just in our living room having a little friends gathering,
That's nice.
and it was just really nice because everybody kind of, just helped everybody else with.
What you need to do is to extend what you've learned to other people, either privately or say, you know what, I know a person that can save your life, and don't mention my name in this town. Just say, I'll just bring you, come on in. And then we'll have a growing group. You have to extend. You can't just keep this to yourself. You have to practice it, either whether you send people here or not, because you may be on an airplane and they can't come here. But when you're sitting there, you say, hello, you're going from Grants Pass to Los Angeles. And so you've got a couple of hours. Hello, what's your name? Oh, well, what kind of business do you do? Oh, he tells you that. Oh, that's very interesting. And then he says, what do you do? Well, then you tell him. I used to have stress, and I had cancer. I was dying from it. And this guy helped me. What? You tell him a little story. You got somebody listening. Here's a card. So, you all do it, but if you don't, see, if you've got only just you, what you have is the necessity to extend it. What would I do if I kept this to myself? No, it's not meant to be kept for yourself. It's kept for you to see somebody. You have intuition when you have it. And there's got to be a moment where you can make conversation with it and say, why not come on Sunday? But you don't. Because the name is Roy Masters. You don't have to mention my name. Just say, come on, I'll show you. Our preacher will show you. That's it. And while he's here, he got twisted, but he'll either run or fight. But if you talk to him properly, look, I give an example. Now, she never came and I never gave her anything. It's just one of those things. I'm in Los Angeles and my truck had a little adjustment. And this lady that's smoking a cigarette. I said, hello. You smoke a lot? Yes, too much. The lady. And how would you like to get to not smoke? She said, I wish I could do that. I said, come over here. Close your eyes. Bong. I said, now try to put the cigarette in your mouth and see how it tastes. That's what it was. How did you do that? Never mind. You'll be all right now. That's what I do everywhere. I don't get out much these days because I'm not strong. I've got to take care of my wife. But that's what I do. Everywhere I go. It must be you. Because that's what's beautiful about you. Do for others as it was done for you. Not do unto others what was done to you. You've got to find that way. You can't keep it to yourself. But you don't do it deliberately. You wait for opportunities. You never do it the way I said it just now, I lost the thought, but you got it. This is why I grow, is because I'm always there, no matter what. I see it, and my presence, even just the presence, affects them. Because you have that light. It's an emotion. Can't be touched. Do you think you could touch Jesus if he didn't want it? He did it because his Father told him to do this. He's obedient. Now, you're not going to be on a cross. You're going to deal with the crusty one, the ones who are crosses, so to speak, cruel, and have problems. But you don't mind speaking up. I said, are you feeling all right? Yes, he said, I get upset with this and I get upset with that. I've got cancer. Oh, that's easy to cure. And then you have a little conversation that comes by itself. It all comes by itself. You cannot hold it. It will kill you. Your purpose, if you experience it, you have to extend it. But you've got to be careful about that. You just got to find the right person and have the right nature that makes them recognize you, that make them recognize you as a friend. That's all. Go home now.
Thank you.
Thank you.